I'm Justine with Xtrain.com, and here's another reason why geeks are sexy. Need to know what the latest gadget is? Ask a geek. We'll help you out. I'll tell you more reasons why geeks are cool if you go to Xtrain.com and download some of our free classes.
So we're back. We're talking about social media and how social media can help you with your online marketing initiatives. And we've moved into a class now where we're talking about audio. So there's three ways that we want to talk about as far as purchasing advertising on the stream or within an audio broadcast on a streaming show. One is going to be obviously to contact the website itself and see what kind of advertising setup they have. Typically you're going to find a link for advertising on the website somewhere. Let's go over here to Webmaster Radio, for instance, and we would hope and I hope that Brandy doesn't get on my case here. Here we go, radio advertising info. Good job. They've got a good call to action there on the homepage. So you would click on this link and contact Brandy Shapiro over at Webmaster Radio and talk to her about what advertising opportunities they have there. Now, I would assume that on Webmaster Radio, because they work really closely with all the content producers of these shows, that you probably can't go directly to a host. If you went to directly to a host on one of these shows, they're probably going to point you to Brandy Shapiro over at Webmaster Radio. On some of these other ones, like on the Live 365 and sites where these shows are syndicated from other areas, your best bet probably is just to go and try to find contact information for the host of the show, which again should be fairly easy to do. I couldn't imagine why any host of any of these shows wouldn't make their contact information, or at least a method to contact them, readily available. And then lastly, we want to talk a little bit about Google Audio. If you're familiar with Google AdWords, you probably noticed within your account lately that you can log in and they have a tab up there for audio within Google. And what that is the ability to go in and actually create, you can produce your own 30-second or 1 minute spot in audio and upload it to Google. And Google will purchase unused inventory on terrestrial radio. And if you bid out properly and you win the spot, you can actually have your ads that you're cross-pollinating from some of this stuff actually played on terrestrial radio during the times that the regular radio stations and the advertising agencies aren't able to sell spots. So when you're doing the bidding on Google, you'll see it tells you, I'm pretty sure it tells you what the time slots are. At least it'll give you like a 4-hour window. So you'll know if you're buying unused inventory from midnight to 4 a.m. or from the 4 to 8 o'clock spot, something like that. So you've got some idea of when your ad should be showing. So there's a few things you can look at when it comes to streaming audio. Again, admittedly, that's not necessarily social media in some areas, but I bring that up because it ties into other audio opportunities that we're going to look at. And again, the opportunities are available and they're very similar across the different areas. Most of these websites, because of how strong social networking is lately, they have a lot of social networking opportunities available on those sites as well. So you want to look at those and take advantage of them if they're relevant to your business model. So some of the opportunities, you can go with direct response model with marketing, and these are more traditional marketing opportunities when you start looking at streaming audio. Obviously, you can reach a very highly educated and affluent consumer base with a lot of these shows. A lot of these shows are financial based or they're high tech, and so you've got a really nice demographic that you're going at. When you compare this to regular internet radio, the format is so much richer. You have the ability to push people to landing pages that have rich media content that will allow them to fill forms out. So once you are able to compel someone to take an action for you, you typically, because they're sitting on a desktop already or on a laptop typically, your response time is going to be much shorter. in this area than if someone's driving down the highway and listens to your ad and you hope they're going to remember you whenever they get back to the office or to their home. These plans are typically very flexible. It's extremely easy for you to rotate messages, to change time slots, as long as inventory is available on these things. What's really important on the internet is that you keep these messages fresh and relevant. Typically on radio and TV, you can get away with producing a commercial, and sometimes you have to because of the expense with professionally producing a commercial or radio spot for traditional media. So you have to go with an ad and you have to stick with it for a long time. On the internet, the cost in many cases is extremely low to produce something that is considered appropriate for the internet or appropriate for an internet audio stream. So you have a lot more flexibility when it comes to your budgets and resources to produce a lot more content that you can rotate out freshly. Obviously, immediacy, you're reaching your target audience and they can reach right back to you very quickly, and that's something that you typically don't get in radio, terrestrial radio, unless you've got people calling you up directly. And the interactivity, that's where we pull the social networking into this. If you've got some radio show that has social networking right on the page where people are listening to audio, you've got someone who literally has got a form in front of them or has some method in front of them to communicate with you already while they're listening to your spot. And sometimes those messages may go to the radio host or the website. You'll have to wait for them to get to you. But if you work out a contract appropriately with these sites, you typically can get that stuff forwarded to you almost immediately, if not immediately. One of the big ones for me is the tracking. Terrestrial radio doesn't even come close to the amount of tracking that you can get through audio streams. I mean, you can look at how many people are attempting to download an audio stream, how many people actually download the entire stream. You can see how many people actually listen to a stream. You can find out what they're doing on the website. In a lot of cases, if some of these websites drop a cookie that follow people outside the domain, you can see whether or not your ad has an impact on their behavior when they leave the site. The behavioral and information you get from users is amazing, and it really allows you to fine-tune your marketing message so that if you are directing people to your domain itself and they're not behaving the way you expect to, you've got the opportunity then to either correct navigation on your site, correct your calls to action, do a lot of stuff based upon folks' behavior, so that the messages become more and more effective for you as you work your way through figuring out how to effectively advertise on streaming audio on the net. So those are some of the basics about streaming audio. We're going to get into some other types of audio on the internet, including podcasting, here in the next couple of classes. So come on back and we'll talk a little bit more about how to effectively enhance your marketing programs with social media and social networking.